Қайырлы күн, құрметті қатысушылар. Good day and greetings to everyone who has joined our today's session. I hope you can hear and see me well. If not, please let me know. So this is a pre-departure orientation session for Erasmus Mundus joint master's degree scholarship holders from Kazakhstan selected in 2023. My name is Laura. I'm a coordinator of the National Erasmus Plus office in Kazakhstan, and I'll be moderating this session for you today. This event is hosted by our office with the strong support of the EU delegation to Kazakhstan. So let me welcome His Excellency Mr. Kestutis Jankauskas, the European Union Ambassador to Kazakhstan, and his team in general. And we also have representatives of the embassies of the EU member states, particularly embassies of Belgium, Spain, Estonia, Finland, and Bulgaria. So thank you very much for joining our today's event. Let me remind you that the session is being recorded. The recording of the session will be available on our YouTube channel, and the link to our YouTube channel has already been sent to the chat box by my colleague Nadira. Dear students, in order to put your questions, please use the chat box or the raised hand function. So now I would like to give an overview of the agenda briefly. In a few minutes, so you will see it on your screen shortly. So in a few minutes, I'll give the floor to His Excellency Mr. Ambassador, Mr. Kestutis Jankauskas, for a welcome speech. Then I'll give some information about the program in general with some statistical data. We'll also have a welcome speech by His Excellency Mr. Henri Vantieghem, Ambassador of Belgium to Kazakhstan, and one more welcome speech by Her Excellency Beatriz Muñoz González, Deputy Head of the Mission of the Embassy of Spain to Kazakhstan. And this will be followed by a welcome video prepared by our current students and alumni, especially for these newly selected students. And we'll also have two alumni representatives who will share their experience and their pieces of advice with our newly selected students. And we will conclude our program with a Q&A session. So that's briefly the agenda for today. So now I am honored to give the floor to His Excellency Mr. Kestutis Jankauskas, the European Union Ambassador to Kazakhstan, for the welcome speech. Your Excellency, Mr. Ambassador, thank you for joining the session, and the floor is yours.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Laura. Thank you for connecting me, for giving the floor. It's really a pleasure, and I see this not really as a speech, but all of us rather having a dialogue, a discussion. This is a very happy moment. So first, congratulations to all the winners, all the students, all of those who are already mentally at least packing their suitcases and preparing for the trips. You mentioned several embassies. I know in the draft program you have Belgium and Spain. I've seen, I think now we see on the screen as well that other EU member state embassies and ambassadors are connected. I see Ambassador of Portugal. It's been face of a Slovak ambassador a while ago. I saw Estonians, and I hope, there would be others down the road or right the road. Everyone's welcome, and I believe if colleagues from the embassies, if you hear something, if there will be questions, please add your remarks, answer questions. Please participate actively in our discussion, in our information session. Now, the most important, yes, congratulations, but then congratulations to the whole of Kazakhstan, because frankly, this year is a record year. First of all, that Kazakhstan is keeping a very high number of successful selected candidates. The winners, the 54 Erasmus Mundus joint master degree scholars. Kazakhstan, by that, it's not a competition here, but Kazakhstan is by far leading among the countries in Central Asia. So Kazakhstan needs to keep the good job, others need to get better. But this year is also important because there have been 3 awards for capacity building in higher education projects with participation of 8 Kazakh universities. That is very important. And then for the first time, actually, Kazakhstan's university is a leader in one of these projects. Then we have also another record number of 6 Jean Monnet projects successfully selected with the coordination and participation of 5 high education institutions of Kazakhstan. Again, a record number. So this is a good year. This is a good year, and I can only encourage all of you to keep this very good job. Now, I don't need to tell you what the program is. You applied, you won. I'm sure you very well know it. If you don't, if you have any questions, Laura and the office and her office, which was there, now it's kind of freshly reinvigorated, reestablished, reopened, fully functioning and running. They are there for you. They are there to coordinate, to answer your questions, to help you and to guide you. What else? It's also good to see that the scholarship holders, scholarship winners this year represent more than 20 high education institutions from different cities. They're going this year to also different countries. I think we can go over the list. In this respect, France is our winner for the 11 of these scholars, followed closely by Italy, Portugal, Czech Republic, Belgium, Estonia, and so on, and others. If you need, again, even if colleagues are not connected today, please ask us, and within the EU delegation, we can connect you. There are 21 EU member state embassies in Astana, and some of them even have consulates in Almaty. If you need any help. I know there will be several requests. Visas are always tricky. We're trying to do our best, so that's the something in progress. But if you have any other question, embassies, and we have 21 out of 27 EU member states in Astana. Please Google them directly or approach us at the delegation, and we can connect you. What else? Let me say that just a few things maybe on the overall relationship and status of affairs in the partnership, in the cooperation between European Union and Kazakhstan. Because you will be, Your Excellencies, I mean, you will be Kazakh ambassadors in a way among your students in your programs in European universities. You are the ones, I mean, who are the practical expression of keeping these relations and renewing these relations. And hopefully through your studies and then after your studies, you will be the ones developing these relations, because you will be contributing with your knowledge, with your contacts, to better kind of widening of cooperation. I'm always interested. I ask my staff, and they looked into the areas into which you have applied for. And these areas include some traditional ones like Eurasian studies, math, climate, sustainability, but then are always a very interesting, unique areas, and it's interesting to spot them. I have 3 here singled out. They really sound exotic. One is color and spectral imaging. Well, maybe technical, not too exotic. Plant breeding and biorefinery. Good. What I want to say is that our relations are not always measured in trade volumes or political statements. What really good relations mean, it's the intensity of the flights. It's the number of businesses established and businesses invested. It's number of universities and joint programs. It's number of tourists visiting the countries each year, and many, many other parameters. And I'm very happy to hear throughout this year, we heard many times here as ambassadors from your Minister of Science and Higher Education. There is a really strong campaign now of also bringing Western or European Western universities to Kazakhstan, establishing joint degrees, opening new campuses. That's very, very welcome. Because it's not about 54 of you, the very lucky ones who are going to study in the European universities. It's about hundreds of thousands more of Kazakh students. For them, it would be also important to have these joint degrees, but not everyone can win. So 54 is a flagship, but others need that level of education here. And the more you raise the level, quality of education back home, the better it is for you, for your kids, and for the future generations. Now, I'll conclude with just a few thoughts on where we are. Our relations to this year mark the 30th mark, so it's 30th anniversary. Our cake on the 3rd of February had 30 candles this year. It's a good number. Our relations have never been more dynamic than they are. I think there is a very pragmatic, very emotional, and very pragmatic both urge on both sides, and understanding that we need to cooperate to uphold an international order, to uphold peace, to help each other in developing, into bringing peace to our neighboring countries and regions. In establishing more connectivity in, mining, producing, trading, exchanging technologies and knowledge, sharing, cooperating, talking, discussing. So please be active. Please carry the flag of Kazakhstan high. Don't be surprised if it's not recognized. Not many people in Europe know Kazakhstan. They have heard of the country. You are the ones spreading the good news. You want to leave that good impression to the others. Please encourage your fellow classroom mates, study friends to visit Kazakhstan. Bring them all here, because I think our relations will be better when people will travel more, when more Europeans will come here for holidays, for businesses, for visiting friends, because this is the way of understanding what Kazakhstan is. Your country is famous for the strive for freedom, for hospitality. It's a beautiful country. It's much to share. And usually when you bring your friends here, bring visitors, reality in positive terms, reality exceeds expectations. And that's a good news. But just you need to bring them all here. So you are the ambassadors. Once again, the good luck to all of you. I'll pass it best to Laura, but then after Henri and Beatriz from Belgium and Spain, if there are any words from the other colleagues who want to add, I would encourage you to do so. Thank you very much, and once again, good luck.
Thank you, Your Excellency, Mr. Ambassador, for your welcoming and inspiring remarks. Thank you very much. And I'd also like to thank you and your team in general for the strong support that you show to our office, and in particular, Vantieghem, with whom I've been working throughout this time. So your support is very much appreciated, and thank you very much for being with us today. So now, if I may, I'd like to share my presentation with you. And I'd like to present some information about the program and provide you some statistical data. So let me share my screen. I hope you can see my screen now. So the very first slide, so you know the name of the program, and before going on to the next slides, let me also congratulate our new selected students on this great accomplishment. And it is a great achievement, and you're about to start one of the most exciting periods, one of the most exciting milestones in your life. So I do sincerely congratulate you on this achievement. On this slide, you see my email address, but I'm sure you already have my email address because I've already been exchanging some emails with our students. Anyway, if you need any further support or any further information from our office, please feel free to email me at this address. On this slide, you can see the total number of scholarship holders for this year, 54. But let me mention that this is a provisional number since we will get the final number closer to October, because still there might be some drops. Some students might reject and some students might be promoted. So far, 54 is the number as of today. And we have 42 female students and 12 male students, and we have 18 first host countries that are enrolling our students starting from this fall. Well, France, Italy are traditionally one of the most popular destinations among our students. So you can see the breakdown of these 18 countries in this diagram. So to name all of them, the list includes France, Italy, Portugal, Czech Republic, Belgium, Estonia, Turkey, UK, Finland, Germany, Spain, Denmark, Hungary, Ireland, Israel, Netherlands, Norway, and Poland. So all in all, 18 first host countries. The next slide demonstrates the total number of scholarship holders from Kazakhstan starting from 2004 up to this year. So it's 412 in total. As you can see, at an early stage of the program, there were few scholarship holders from Kazakhstan, but starting from 2015, the number kept on dynamically increasing. So this year we have, as we have already mentioned, 54 scholarship holders. In this slide, you can see the list of higher education institutes that our 54 students graduated from. Nazarbayev University is a leader. We have 19 students, scholarship holders that graduate from this university, followed by Kazakh National University, after Al-Farabi, the Muñoz Eurasian National University, and other universities as well. But also, in addition to Kazakhstani universities, we also have universities abroad or international universities, including, you see the list, including some Russian universities, universities in Bulgaria, in Korea, in China, and Hungary. So some of our current students, scholarship holders, graduated from these universities as well. This is a pie chart which demonstrates the total number of scholarship holders throughout Central Asia. So the biggest share, as you can see, goes to Kazakhstan. So we have 412 scholarship holders in total over this period, followed by Uzbekistan, 164. Kyrgyzstan has 131 scholarship holders throughout this period, Tajikistan 47, and Turkmenistan 22. This slide demonstrates the list of programs that admitted our 54 scholarship holders. There are 27 of them, meaning that some programs are enrolling more than one student. So that's why it's 27 for 54 students. As Mr. Ambassador mentioned, the range of the program is really diverse. It includes programs in arts and humanitarian fields, but also programs in science and technology. But I'd like to draw attention to the program number 2, Central and East European Russian and Eurasian Studies, and program number 9, Erasmus Master in Soil Science. These two programs include Kazakhstani universities in their consortia. For instance, the program Central and East European Russian and Eurasian Studies has KMEP as its full partner. So KMEP also admits students on this program. And the Masters in Soil Science has Kazakh National Agrarian Research University as its associated partner. So our office is trying to promote this program among our higher educational institutes because this program is an opportunity not only for individual students, but also for higher educational institutes. So here you can see the list of Kazakhstani universities that are partners in some of these programs. So starting from 2017 up to 2021. So as of now, we have only one full partner, which is Kemet University, the full partner program for the program in Central and East European Russian Eurasian Studies. The next slide is might be very useful for our current students. Even now, you can join a number of communities that might be very helpful for your further studies. So the first one is Erasmus Mundus Students and Alumni Association, and you can see their website. We also have Erasmus Student and Alumni Alliance, which is also open for all students and alumni. Erasmus Student Network, and the great news about ESN is that Kazakhstan is a part of ESN starting from this year, April. So you can also join this network, and already you can find the contact details on this website. And let me also mention that there is a country chapter for Erasmus Mundus Association in Kazakhstan. The country representatives are Madina Kasakpaeva and Yulia Manjulova. They are very active in our events, so please feel free to email them whenever you need at this general email address. Tips and recommendations. I took some of these tips from the presentation of the previous mail office, and we have added some more. So first of all, of course, ensure you have a valid passport and visa, and research the regulations of the country that you are going to. For instance, if you're going to the UK, I know that you need to register with the police within 7 days upon your arrival. So make sure you research all these regulations beforehand in advance. Keep all supporting documents in your hand baggage, documents like invitation letter or acceptance letter, so that you are ready to present them when you're asked to. Make sure to bring some promo materials about Kazakhstan. So as Mr. Ambassador mentioned, you will be an ambassadors of Kazakhstan. So feel free to bring, I don't know, Kazakhstani flags or leaflets, because there might be some cultural events when you're expected to present your country. So those promo materials would be very useful for you. Of course, take most of your EMJMD student experience, and it's not only about academic life, you'll also have non-academic life, make friends, try internships and all other opportunities that the program offers. Learn in advance about exam dates, forms, and exam retakes, which is very important, taking into account our Kazakh mentality. We might be late sometimes with deadlines, but in order to study on this program, it is very important to keep your to manage your time. Okay. Join groups or communities on social media platforms. So with students living in the host country, I think some of you already have joined some of these communities. So these communities might be a very good source of helpful information. So take advantage of them. Turn on roaming on your phone for the first days until you buy a permanent SIM card. Well, usually roaming is switched on automatically, but before departing, make sure to check roaming options, because they might be it might be very expensive for you to use some of the options. Use tools for time management and budget planning for the entire period of your studies. As I've mentioned, please try to manage your budget and manage your time accordingly. And the last slide gives you the list of useful links. Your rights as a mobile student, the information about that is available on the following link. And we also have Erasmus Plus program guide, which gives you comprehensive information about your program. So make sure to familiarize yourselves with the manual. EMJMD website, I think all of you are already familiar with this website, but still we have included this link. And in order to stay updated and stay tuned on our updates of our office, please subscribe to our social media accounts, and you can see the links here. So that's briefly from me. Let me close this presentation. So now I hope this gave a good overview of the program and some tips and recommendations for our newly selected students. But now I would like to give the floor to His Excellency Mr. Henri Vantieghem, Ambassador of Belgium to Kazakhstan, who would like to greet our students. So Your Excellency, thanks for joining, and the floor is yours. We can't hear you. Not yet. Yeah, maybe you can use your headset. There always might be some technical issues. You never know with Zoom. Mr. Ambassador, no, we don't hear you. Well, at least I can't hear you. Okay. What if we then give the floor to the next speaker? Meanwhile, Mr. Vantieghem, you can fix your headphones, right? Okay. Okay, so now let me give the floor to Her Excellency Ms. Beatriz Muñoz González, Deputy Head of Mission of the Spanish Embassy, for her welcome speech. Your Excellency, thanks for joining the session, and thanks for your willingness to give a welcome speech. So the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Thank you very much to the EU delegation for letting me speak in this orientation session. I'm very glad to be here and to speak to these 54 students that will be part of the Erasmus program. As a European citizen, I really have always thought that Erasmus is one of the foundations of the European Union, because in fact, it's at the heart of the European Union, and it's one of the programs and policies that really helps building this European spirit. I myself, as a Spaniard and once a student, did Erasmus, and I really think it was one of the best experiences that I have ever had. And whenever we're speaking about Erasmus, in my opinion, we should speak about a whole and complete experience, because it is not only about a university stay, it is much more. It is a complete immersion in a different culture, in a foreign culture, and sometimes even in a foreign language. So these kind of exchanges are what really make the European Union be more than legislation, regulations, or bureaucratic procedures. As you may all know, this semester is the semester where Spain is in the presidency of the European Council, and one of our priorities is precisely to strengthen the European unity and our relation with international partners. So this is one of the real examples that we want to keep reinforcing. I was wondering what could I say in this opening and orientation session, and I remembered what they told me when I was an Erasmus student, and they spoke about the origin of this program and Erasmus of Rotterdam, who himself studied in different countries. And it was not only after, it was after many centuries when the European communities created this wonderful program, which of course has evolved, but was created after Sofia Corradi, who was also a student in Columbia University, but she was European. And then when she came back to Europe, she could not have her master's recognized. So she seat the zone of the she sown the seed of this program, and today we have Erasmus Plus. Erasmus of Rotterdam would have been marveled today to see how this program has evolved and how these university stays are not only within the European Union but all over the world. So this program, as I was saying, is going to be an opportunity for you all, for the 54 students of Kazakhstan. So congratulations for being here. You are going to be immersed in a different educational system, but if I can give you an advice, take advantage of all the opportunities that you will have as regards learning a new language, as regards visiting a new country, visiting a new culture, and it's getting along with students of other foreign countries. And as Ambassador Kestutis was saying before, you are going to be the ambassadors of your own country, of Kazakhstan. And there might be situations where people do not know your flag or do not know your language, but also take this advantage of speaking about your country and of letting people know the wonders about Kazakhstan. This exchange is going to be a learning process for you, but it's also going to be a learning process for all the national and European students and international students that you are going to meet in the following months. So just to finish, I am particularly happy to know that two of you will go to Spain. You know that Spain and Kazakhstan are countries that are very far away as regards distance, but we are very close as regards social ties, as regards cultural ties. So also take advantage of this and keep reinforcing our relationship. And I'm sure that you will have a wonderful time in Spain, as the rest of you will have wonderful times in the other countries that you will go. So thank you very much, and congratulations to you all.
Thank you very much for your warm greeting and taking your time to attend today's session. It's very much appreciated. Thank you. So now I would like to give the floor to His Excellency Mr. Henri Vantieghem, Ambassador of Belgium to Kazakhstan. Your Excellency, the floor is yours now.
I hope this time you can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you very well.
Thank you. That's thanks to my secretary, actually. She knows better how it's functioning, this kind of programs. So first of all, let me congratulate you to have been selected to go to this Erasmus Mundus program and to go to European countries. You are very lucky. Be aware that you are very lucky, because in my time, 35 years ago, it started only, and I had not the privilege to participate to this kind of program, but I wish I would have this privilege. It's a unique occasion to get in contact with other cultures. And although within the European Union, we are mostly the same people, we have still different mentalities and different traditions and different customs. So the one who will go to Brussels, the one who will go to France or to Italy or to Germany, they will experience something quite different, even if it's the European Union. Our motto is united in diversity. And diversity is one of the characteristics of the European Union. So you will experience in the different countries very different cultures and traditions. And even inside the countries, our society is very diverse. We have different people from different origins, different religions, and a lot of different traditions. So for you, as it was said by our Spanish colleague, it's a life experience. It's not only to study and to learn about science, but it's also to learn about how to live and how to get with these different cultures and different languages. If you are in Belgium, and I think that there are 3 students going to Brussels or to Belgium, you will have the privilege to be in the center of Europe. Sometimes they refer, journalists and newspapers, they refer to Belgium as Brussels. And it's Brussels, European Union, as well as Brussels, Belgium, capital of the country. So you see, for us, it's a very intermixed situation. We are, as Belgium, very, very supportive of this idea of the European Union. And you can see that European Union is not an empire We do not want to conquest and to dominate. The best example for that is that the United Kingdom, the British, they decided to leave, and there was no problem for them to leave. But we are convinced in Belgium that union makes you stronger. So the same advantage for those who are going to Belgium is to have a very small distance from other capitals. So if you are there, take the opportunity also to travel to Germany, Köln, to the Netherlands, Amsterdam, Rotterdam, The Hague, to Paris, to Lille in France, and to discover different countries, because the distance is not the same than in Kazakhstan. You know, Brussels, Paris by train is 1 hour, 15 minutes. I won't compare that with Astana, Almaty by train, but by high-speed train, and the ticket is quite cheap, especially for students. So take this opportunity to travel a lot, to get acquainted with different cultures. And well, but this is special for Belgium. If you visit the European institutions in Brussels, you will see the very old seat of the Commission called the Berlaymont building. It's made of 4 wings, and the 3 wings from this building are for Italy, France, and Germany. And the last wing, the smallest one, is for Belgium, Netherlands, and Luxembourg. So all the idea of an integration between the country is already in the concept of the building, the very first building where the European Union was settled up. It's in this building you will see the 4 different wings of the building. It's symbolized all together, going together, all different nations going together for making the at the beginning European Community and now European Union. So a last advice, especially for those who are going to Belgium, we have 1,000 and more different kinds of beer. So beer is a very popular drink in Belgium, but don't taste them, these 1,000 and more brands, and taste the same day. You have a long time to be in our countries. Take the time and taste everything from all the countries, but with moderation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ambassador, for your welcoming remarks and valuable advice, recommendations. I'm sure that those will be very helpful for our newly selected students. So now, dear participants, if there are any other representatives of other embassies of the EU member states who would like to greet our students, please feel free to do so. If not, we can continue our program, and the next point in our program is the welcome video, which was put together by our current students and alumni. So this video is specifically for our newly selected students and gives very good pieces of advice. So now my colleague, Ms. Henri, will share this video on her screen. Hopefully the video will be heard properly.
Hello, my name is Amina Kusainova.
Berik Kaliulaev.
Marcel.
Mirjan Abdurrahmanov.
Madina.
Katrina.
And I studied the Erasmus Mundus Joint Master degree in Euroculture.
I'm doing my medical residency in the field of pathology.
I studied international masters in Russian, Central and East European studies at the University of Glasgow in Scotland, and I also studied MA in European Studies at Jagiellonian University in Poland.
I studied digital communication leadership in Austria and international development studies in the Netherlands.
I'm a graduate of International Masters in Fire Safety Engineering.
I study in archaeological material science.
I chose EMJMD because of its interdisciplinary approach to the topic of our studies, and
because of possibility to study and travel in different countries.
The primary appeal is academic. I really wanted to deepen my knowledge and enhance my understanding.
Quality education, exploring different places.
And of course, networking. Networking is something quite essential in terms of your future career.
Networking.
Expand your network, you learn about communication skills, and you have opportunity to meet amazing people from all over the world.
Regarding challenges for me, I think it was academic writing in the beginning. I really wanted to write good, excellent essays. And in order to overcome this challenge, I took extra courses on writing. The university has writing center where you can improve your writing skills, where teachers can review your work and give feedback.
The first one I would say is adapting to new educational methods. Second thing which was hard to manage was budget, because life in Europe, if we're talking about European programs, life in Europe is rather costly, and it really takes a while to adapt to this new situation when you need to save money and to manage your budget properly. And the third thing which many find challenging is homesickness.
I would say the grading system, because for example in France it is from 0 to 20, in Spain it is from 0 to 10, and in Scotland it was from 0 to 100. So I needed to adapt to each system, and sometimes it was quite confusing to understand what your mark means.
if you don't already know the language of the country where you're going to be studying and living, the language barrier could also be challenging at first.
Firstly, making a good plan, setting a study routine, eating well, and also don't get distracted by social media.
My dreams, my motivation, and my future goals.
I think the main source of motivation for me to study is the people that I study with. The university here in Wageningen in the Netherlands is a top uni of the country, so everyone is very passionate about their subjects. Everyone is very focused and motivated to stay very concentrated on their studies, so it really helps me to acquire this behavior also.
I just became overall a much better planner, so whenever I need to do anything, I write step by step everything that I need to do. I clarify all information beforehand all the time.
I started learning French, and I continued learning it after the program, and I think this is a good bonus, good advantage of this program.
For me, it was cycling. I learned how to cycle here, and I do cycle every day now.
Well, I'm really proud of how well organized I became after finishing my master's, because like as a student abroad, you really need to keep a lot of things in your head, starting with your educational deadlines, budget planning, your traveling plans, because as a student you're going to travel abroad, that's totally okay, and you need like to keep everything well organized and to be adaptable to the changes that might happen, and altogether really creates some kind of a very important soft skill in you.
That it's very important to remember safety rules. So don't walk around at night alone. Stay away from high crime areas and be smart with your money.
Do try to learn the language of the country where you're going to, so that the adjustment process goes smoother and quicker for you.
Explore the place you started to live, because this is the experience you will never forget in your life. And don't hesitate to ask local people if you are doubting about anything.
Look for internships, summer schools, workshops, and volunteering.
I wish someone had told me before I graduated, because I really believe it's important. And one thing that you must do is become friends with your teachers, with your professors. They're usually open-minded, easygoing, so it will not be difficult.
Don't be afraid to ask questions. Do take things at your own pace. And
believe in yourself. You are going to graduate. Everything will be fine.
Just be grateful for every single day you're here, and take care of yourself, of your health, of your mental health, and meet people, travel, learn something new every day, cuisine. So I would really suggest to just try to be grateful and be present, because it's not going to last forever.
Thanks, Nadira. So, dear participants, that was a video prepared by our current students and alumni. So, I hope this video covered very major points to take care of, recommendations and challenges, what to expect from your program in the future. But now we also have alumni representatives who would like to share their experiences with you. The first speaker is Ulzhan Zhumakeldi. She is actually no more a student. She recently received her diploma, so she is already an alumna. So Ulzhan, are you here with us? If so, you can share your screen and you can share your piece of advice with our students. The floor is yours.
Thank you. 1 second, I will share my screen.
Or Nadira can share your presentation in case you have any troubles. Okay, we see your presentation.
Should be fine. Yeah, okay.
Thank you.
Sorry about that. Yeah. Hi guys. Yeah, first I wanted to say thanks for the invitation for this orientation meeting, and also congratulate all the newcomers of Erasmus Mundus. Enjoy your time and also studies. So I'm gonna share my experience here. The agenda is I will talk about me and my program a bit, also about educational systems and countries, university life and travel, intercultural competence, about a bit about visa and accommodation, also career opportunities, do's and don'ts, my suggestions about it, and life hacks. So here I am. My name is Ulzhan. I'm 26, I'm from Karaganda. So now I work as a graduate product development engineer in Leuven in Belgium. So a bit about my program. My program was called Smart Telecom and Sensing Networks. So I just received my degree this summer because the graduation takes a bit time in UK. So my program is related to the photonics and 5G wireless technologies, also sensing and big data processing. My program contained 3 countries, which is UK, Greece, and France. I studied in 2 of them, which is Aston University in Birmingham and the National Capodocian University of Athens in Greece. Yeah, and also, as you know, there are 2 options. You can get a joint degree, which is collaborative with universities. In my case, it was a double degree, which I got different from Aston and different from NQA in Greece. Yeah, and a bit about my interests. So I love traveling, walking, playing board games, listening to podcasts, reading. I'm interested in self-development and social work. So a bit about educational systems in 2 countries where I studied. So the differences in the videos, they a bit told about it also. The first is in UK, in my university, there were 3 trimesters, which is like a bit more than as our 2 semesters. So it's from September to December, more or less, and from February to April, and from May to July. So plan your time, check the university academic schedule if you plan something for the summer. In Greece, it was the same as in Kazakhstan, like 2 semesters. The second I want to talk about is like grading system. Make sure that you study about that, because in UK it was 100% grading system, but in Greece it was like up to 10. So on the right side you can see the difference between 3 countries and what's different in grading system. Also, what was different in educational systems in UK, it was like for each mark, for each assignment, you have like detailed requirement. What should you do to reach that mark? But while in Greece, it was like given assignment, then it was like more general requirements and divided into tasks. Yeah, and the next, be ready to self-study more, because I can say like it's more about like 30% more or less of in-class studying, and others is self-studying and also like sharing your, teamwork with your colleagues. The next I want to talk about, it's also mentioned in the videos of guys. It's about if you have troubles with academic writing, for example, for the assignments or essays, you can take some extra courses in university, for example, for academic writing courses. Also be aware that in universities there is a psychological and mental help. You can contact your coordinator or check the website of your university if you have some, if you want to contact them, you can send email or maybe book an appointment with them. Also, there are some extra supporting courses, something like if you have troubles preparing an exam for maths, which is related to also maybe statistics. So you can check that and get help. And also your mental as well, physical health is important. So in universities in Europe, the sport facilities works really well. So be part of it. Like in UK, when I was in UK, it was a bit COVID, but in Greece, I got a chance to go with a trainer to tennis. So it was really a great experience. Do enjoy and use your opportunities. Yeah, here I want to talk about my university life. The university use the library, and also in the cities there are most like public libraries are mostly free for students, so you can use that, and also study rooms, as well as meet with your colleagues from like schoolmates, and discuss if you don't understand something with them also. In UK, as I said, it was COVID, so we were gathering just every Saturday to do some activities. And on the right side, you can see that this was New Year, so everyone cooked their own national food, and we shared all together, and it was like more than 30 people there, so we shared our experience. But in Greece, we got a chance to also be outside and enjoy our time. As well, we went one time with our professor for dinner here on the, you can see here. What else? Don't forget about traveling. I wanted to, 1 second here. Also in libraries, there are free printing services for using. And in Greece, there is one good advantage that you can eat in canteen for free 2 times a day. And about traveling, so traveling is really great experience because you broaden your mind. You do like you meet new people. Also, you learn a lot about new cultures. Here you can see I did a lot in general traveling. So and next I wanted to talk about intercultural competence. So the first is tolerance of ambiguity, which is more about that you should be ready for the unfamiliar and unexpected situations and situations in general. So make the fast decisions. The next is about the flexibility, which is like about adaptability to the way of working, for example, in your new country, or way of life, etc. The third is communicative awareness, which is about you should appreciate how the other culture works, and also try to make a common ground between, you will also you will have an international environment around. So yeah. The next is about knowledge discovery. So research your country you are going to, research your university, and also maybe the countries of your colleagues, like classmates. The next is about respect for otherness. There is no such a thing that it's best or worse, it's just different. So be ready for that. And the last is try to show your empathy, and to see the things from other people's eyes. So next is a bit about visa and accommodation. I hope most of you got already your visas. But just some tips for me. First, prepare all the documents for the visa, and also translate if necessary. For example, for friends in French and etc. And also, in some countries, the visa is is enough for studying for 1 full year. For example, for me, it was for Greece. I got a visa for 1 year and I didn't apply for residence permit. But for UK, it was different. We applied for residence permit in advance. Do so if you know the rules, and also contact your coordinator about that. And in UK, there was a rule that you have 10 days from when you land to collect your biometric residence permit. But for us, it was COVID, so they sent by post, and our coordinator worked well that it was smooth. In first week of studies, we already got it. So it was good. What else? One more thing, that check where are you landing, which airport you are landing, and your place, I don't know, temporary or permanent accommodation, how to reach there, and check in online, and also check the luggage weight limits for the airline you are going to. And here there just I mentioned the options how you could get to the cities where I was. Then next, accommodation. So ask the international office of the university or program coordinator. They can send you the options because in campus there are a lot of options for the accommodations. So maybe they can send you out, and then you can find there. Also, try to search on official websites, like in UK it was rightmove.co.uk, or for example in Belgium is EMJMD, because there are also a lot of options in Facebook, but be ready, there are scammers. So a lot of scammers in Facebook groups. Be aware of that. And also, after you find the accommodation, when you sign the contract, read it thoroughly. Cancellation policy, and how does it work? Bills conditions, because in UK, for example, for us, it was once for 6 months for water, they give a bill, like all the bills in 6 months in once. The next is about insurance. Erasmus Mundus program gives you the general insurance, so read what's included there, how does it work. For us, it was from March, I think. In UK and Greece, like the social security system, they give you like a national registration number. For Greece, it was AMCA, and for UK, it was NHS. So you can use the GP, like you can go and see doctors and what you need. And also save your emergency assistance number. For example, when you get an email from the insurance office of Erasmus, there is an emergency number from insurance. So save it into your wallet and on your phone, just in case. Yeah. Also, yeah, manage your finance, because now, as I know, for example, in our case, it was everyone's one amount, and once a year they were giving for traveling. But now you have like fixed time for all the time. So if you want to travel to Kazakhstan, the tickets are not the cheapest. So be ready for that and manage your finance in advance. And also, for example, if you are changing every semester or even once a year your country, then you will need money for visa. For example, if you are changing from UK to EU countries. And also for medical certificates, some require police certificates. So you should check the rules for each country you are going. Yeah, and some career opportunities. First, just try to make yourself the CV, how you can make it, the resume, and then you can contact your career and placement departments of your university. They can help you with like giving feedback, reviewing, and also, for example, in UK for us, they provided like there was a website you can upload your CV and it gives you feedback, suggestions to change for that. And also there are some specific rules for CV in countries. In UK, it's better to not show, for example, your photo and etc. Also, you can also book an appointment for, in general, career opportunities after graduation with the advisors of this department. We had that in UK, so he was sending out every week what kind of opportunities nowadays, yeah, like up to date. Then make a LinkedIn profile based on your CV. You can find a lot of resources about that in internet. Also try to be part of conferences, maybe your university organizes, or in your field you can try to search for that, and internships. In some countries it's even compulsory. For example, for my group mates in France, it was compulsory to do the internship, and some of them are working in that company afterwards. So you can use that opportunity, or you can just search for yourself. If you are free in summer, then you can search for internships like that. After graduation, you have an opportunity for which is called job searching visa or graduate visa. In UK, there is a possibility to apply for, it's valid for 2 years, but it's changing from student visa to job searching visa. So you should not go to another country and with a visitor visa, you cannot apply for that. So you should be in UK. Yeah, read the rules first. In Greece, there was no such an opportunity for graduate visa, but I know that in Netherlands there is. So you can check your countries, and yeah. And also, if you're interested in a specific company in your field, then you can try to search in the company website. There are some open days online or maybe offline that you can go and see, because it will help you to get a job in the future if you want to be in Europe afterwards. Yeah, and also the conferences, company open days, it helps you like broaden your networking. So ask people, maybe if you don't get in this company, maybe just try to know other companies, or like meet new people and the network. Some suggestions. Yeah, as I said, just do your homework about your country and the university you are going to. Be organized, be independent, because yeah, you will be more organized, as the guys were saying in the videos afterwards, because you're responsible for yourself and no one else. Be open-minded, be flexible. Then always remember that you are representative of Kazakhstan, so share your culture, share your hospitality, and respect the rules of the country you are going to and the people around. Also try to find a balance between studying and life. Ask questions, don't hesitate to ask questions from your coordinators, university colleagues, yeah. And yeah, don't forget about networking, as I said. And about don't take anything if someone wants to send something in the airport or like messaging you. If I want to send that, don't take that. And also I don't recommend taking meat with you. It will cause a bit of problems afterwards in the customs, and then it will take more time to check, you know. You can, I mean, maybe not horse meat, but other meats you can find in Europe, so don't worry. Also, don't forget to take the general medications, and also if you have like some prescribed medications from doctor, do so in Kazakhstan if you have your doctor. And also don't forget you're not alone. You have your colleagues, you have your family, you have the support from university. So yeah. Yeah, and don't feel like that you are missing something in your country, that there are some things happening in Kazakhstan, in your family or around. Just your experience is unique. Just remember that. Yeah, and also remember, if you're traveling to another country, residence permit doesn't replace passport. It's equivalent to visa, not the passport itself. So keep your residence permit and passport together after you receive residence permit. Yeah, and some life hacks. The first is in Turkish Airlines, there is you can create a student account after you receive your card, or you have a letter from your university that you are a student. You can apply for that. Then it gives you 2 luggages for free, 23 kilograms, and also you can collect miles and use afterwards for the flights. And it's cheaper than the usual price, I think, for 30% or so. The next, Air Astana also has, if you are under 25, you can use also gas tickets of Air Astana. Just search in Google Air Astana gas tickets, and it will give you other search area to search for the tickets for that. What about, and also there is a bank which is called Revolut. I was using it a lot because they're sending you just by post. It's easy to exchange money, and also it's easy to use afterwards. Because in some countries there are problems opening in bank account. For example, I didn't open, not in Greece, not in UK, the local banks. I was using Revolut for all the things. Splitwise, which is like tracking group expenses if you're doing some things, some activities with your other friends, so you can track the group expenses there. This is the application for that. Also, there is an Erasmus social network in all European countries, so you can get an ESN card and also get a discount for some flights, I think on Ryanair, and also get a discount on events. For example, in Greece, there were discounts for ESN card holders. Yeah, and also ESN in general organizes a lot of events in the campus or outside for the trips, for archaeological sites, for example. So it's a nice opportunity. Skyscanner, it's the tool for searching for the airline tickets. I always search there, but I recommend you buy from the official website of airlines. And then if something changes, that you can, that's an official website of airline afterwards. You can also use the benefit of Amazon Prime, which is for 6 months free for students. In UK, it was really good that you can order today, and tomorrow you already receive your things. Yes. What else? Yeah, and then if you want to, if the cities are not far, you can use FlixBus. This is the convenient bus service in Europe. Or there is also one more, I forgot to mention here, it's Omio. You can check the trains there, like inside Europe. And for UK and Greece, so in UK, you can get a rail card. It gives you 30% of rail travel inside UK. Just the prices are different for the age categories. Check that, but otherwise it's really good one. to use inside UK. And also you can use a website which is called Student Biz. It gives you discounts for food, clothes. Yeah, you can check that. And for Greece, you can get a student transportation card. It's cheap. In general, I think for 6 months it was 30 euros or so. And also just remember that for students, for ferry trips, if you want to travel from Athens to another islands, it's 50% off the ticket. Yes, thank you so much. So if you have some questions, contact me. You can contact me by LinkedIn or my Instagram page. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. That was very comprehensive presentation with lots of practical tips. So thank you very much for putting together this presentation for our students. And I hope you will stay till the Q&A session, because there might be questions that where you could be very helpful. Thanks, Ulzhan. And congratulations on your successful completion of the program, on receiving your diploma.
Thank you.
Okay, so now, dear participants, before going on to the Q&A session, we have one more speaker, and this is our alumna, Nadira Mukhamejan, who will also share her pieces of advice with our newly selected students. Nadira, the floor is yours.
Yes, thank you so much. Now I will share my presentation in normal modus. Just a second. Can you see it?
Yes, we can see your presentation.
And I hope you can hear me well. So I'd like to share my experience about Erasmus Mundus program that's called IMSIS, which is International Matter in Security, Intelligence and Strategic Studies. And so first of all, just brief introduction. I graduated from the Kazakh University, and my major was international relations. Then I got enrolled into IMSIS. After that, I had 5 months internship experience in the German Parliament. And from September on, I will start my PhD at the Geneva Water Hub, which is sponsored by the Swiss Government Excellence Scholarship. So as you see, starting from Erasmus Mundus, like my journey was really international, and I'm really thankful for that, and I wish you all this. And my program was slightly differently structured. So we had a lot of, like, in comparison with other programs, we had some flexibility. So we had 2 pathways, and in my pathway, I opted for Italy instead of Ireland. So my starting semester was in Glasgow, in University of Glasgow, which is highly ranked, one of the oldest universities in the UK. So it was really interesting study experience. And the second semester was in Trento in Italy, and Trento University is quite young and very dynamic, so it was also quite a nice experience. My third semester was in Czechia, so in Charles University. And then we had the work-based fellowship program where we can find a fellowship, and then our dissertation would be a little bit shorter. And also we would gain some relevant practical experience, which was quite nice. So I was actively looking for fellowships. And also we had the career service, which was recommending us to apply for it. And they had a really good portfolio of fellowship opportunities. So it was a really good shortcut for finding an internship. So, and I spent my 4th semester in Switzerland, even if Switzerland is not a part of the Erasmus programs usually. So what I gained thanks to Erasmus was transferable skills and international projects and networking, and which was great that I really benefited from like the atmosphere of Erasmus, because I really trained in critical thinking and interpersonal communication, and it still keeps opening so many doors for me. So for us, it was also like focus on the languages. So it's not only academic writing skills, but we also could learn any language we wanted, almost any language we wanted. And so we really upgraded our international competences, because in my group, there were 84 people. So some of them were on the scholarship, some of them were self-funded. So it was really great experience. And I think the greatest part of the Erasmus is that we can learn from each other. So I know that all these people who are on the program, they pass very high selection process. So we could constantly communicate, we can learn from each other, we could give each other a lot of feedback on different things. And also it was a lifetime adventure, connections and fun. So I'm sure like we had so many different countries in programs. So I'm sure that in any of these countries, I find someone to connect with and to spend holidays together or something. Like these connections are really for life. And as Ulzhan already mentioned, there are a lot of opportunities during the program, after the program, and before the program. So first of all, so it's not the guidance by no means, but it's how it was for me. So first semester, I tried to give myself some time for adaptation, identification of interest, because like the offer is really big and you have to select what you like. And starting learning new languages. For example, my second semester was in Italy, and I had the opportunity to start with Italian already in Glasgow. Second semester, I was doing some internships. Not really. I was mostly volunteering and looking for conferences and UN models. So my program already offered some winter and summer schools. And also I was trying to identify my thesis topic or supervisor. Maybe it's too early. Maybe you already find some professor at one of the universities with whom you want to work with. So start to reach out to people, start to build your connections, start to analyze the field, for example, and so on. Like identify the topics that interest you, and you can always fine tune it later. For the first semester, it was also like this. And in the fourth semester, I was already working on my thesis. I was doing my internship at the same time, and I started looking for jobs. But as we are Erasmus students from Kazakhstan, at each of the stages, we face the necessity to apply for visas. We need to look for our accommodation. We need to travel, and all this planning, it takes a lot of time, and it takes the mental workload. So you have to plan it in advance. So I would advise you to take care of that, but at the same time, don't let it to take off of your mental space. Like I never saw any stranded student who is stuck in one country and wouldn't be able to continue the studies. No, it's always like streamlined process. You always have people who would advise you what to do next. You are not alone. There are at least 20 people who are doing through the same experience. So connect with them and exchange the information and so on. So it's not critical, but just things to keep in mind, like it's adding additional work to us. So what I've learned from Erasmus, so first of all, congratulations, you deserve your place, never doubt it. So I would give a round of applause now and just acknowledge your success. Like some of my groupmates were struggling from imposter syndrome because, we had this dynamic when some of the students were self-funded and were just getting money for studying. So just acknowledge your place. You did a great job on your application. You are there. Your experience there is valued. Second thing is living in 3 or more different countries is fun, but it's not easy. So don't underestimate the challenge of adapting to unfamiliar situations. Of course, now before the study, you would attend all social communities or clubs or be engaged in so many different things, start looking for jobs and so on, but it would add so much pressure on you. So just try it. Be slow at the beginning. It's not a problem. So try to connect with the local students and so on. Just give yourself time. And also a great piece of advice is connect with local students, whether they're from the program or not. So they would help you to navigate these cultural aspects really well and give a lot of practical advice. Then reach out. So be in touch with your peers or with your group mates. As I mentioned, there is a lot to learn from them. Lecturers, university counselor, alumna from your program, and so on. So everyone is interested in your success. So it can be, of course, some competitive dynamics in the groups, and you will not be friends with everyone in the group. So it's normal, but you can learn from them and you can really appreciate them as your colleagues and communicate your needs on time. So please don't wait until the last moment. If you see some challenge, reach out to someone who might help you. For example, it was my first time in English-speaking academic environment. So I studied at the Kazakh-German university. So it was completely new for me. I didn't know how to structure the essays. And I contacted my British groupmates, and they gave me so much valuable feedback. And I'm still using their advice when I'm structuring the essay for, for some English-speaking environment. So it's great. Also, for example, if you have some personal circumstances which prevent you from doing something, reach out, tell it to the professor in advance. I was studying during COVID, so there was a lot of mental pressure because of that as well, because I didn't see my group mates or something. So I was communicating everything in advance, and people were extremely understanding and flexible. But if I would sit and never say it before I would submit something, like nothing would change for me. So if you encounter some issue, just tell about it as soon as possible. Another thing is that you should always reach out if you see any areas of improvement. So Erasmus is a program which is not fixed. And these programs, they live from the feedback. And you have your unique feedback because you're a student from Kazakhstan. Maybe you're the first generation student from Kazakhstan. They don't know your circumstances. And for example, you can compare university to university. For example, in Glasgow, we started learning the languages, but in Italy, we didn't have this opportunity. So all language courses were we have to pay for them. And we didn't want that. And we had really strong student representatives, and we were saying, okay, we had such nice opportunities in the first semester, and we would like to continue learning these languages that we started. Could we please continue learning languages? And the program took that into account, and we had the opportunity to continue with language courses at every university. Or also another example, there was some procedure about police registration in the UK. For example, if we're living in the UK more than 6 months, we had to register by the police. And after the semester, I was communicating that I'm unhappy with this procedure because it's very costly, it takes your time, it takes your planning. And 1 year after this police registration, obligatory police registration was cancelled. So if you think that you can improve something, just always communicate that. Or maybe you can, it shouldn't be only something academic. So just life advices, everyone is there. So feel free to contact anyone. Also work smart, keep an eye on deadlines and grading criteria. So it's not only the difference in grading system, it's also the approach to grading might differ from professor to professor. For example, I was working so hard for one subject. I was prepared for every seminar, but already at the first class, the professor told us that only the essays would be graded. So we had 2 essays, and each of them was graded by 50, and all my hard work at the seminars was not graded at all. So if I knew that in advance, if I spent more attention to that, maybe I would work smarter and not stress myself too much. Second thing is improvisation needs preparation. So I'm sure you are super smart and intellectual and creative and so on, but don't leave everything until the last minute. It's easy to improvise when you know something, but if you are in a known environment, just don't risk. And for example, British English was very different for me, like in academic environment, like in my university in Kazakhstan, people would appreciate your creativity more. And in the UK, people would more appreciate the structure. And like I learned it in a hard way. And also prepare yourself for the next steps. So visa appointments for me also was surprised that in the UK, people use different adapters. So if you are going there, just Google how they look like. And so you'll be able to charge your phone somewhere. For example, vitamins, if there are some medications that you take in Kazakhstan, take them in advance if you can. But also in some countries, when there is a lack of sun in winter, there can be some seasonal depression because of the lack of vitamin D. So just consult with others, talk with others, don't be alone with this problem. Also, as Ulzhan said, there are student discounts. Sometimes in the UK or in other countries, it would be cheaper to buy something in the app rather by cash or with the card on place. So check that as well. And also the last thing is don't put otherwise fears on hold. Of course, you are in a very intense program, you have to travel a lot, but it's not all your life. So don't stress yourself too much about academic life. And also use the university access for extra learning materials and networks, for example, access to sport classes, discovering new hobbies, additional literature. The coolest thing about European universities is that there is almost not such thing as paywall. From Kazakhstan, to access some scientific article, we have to pay for that because not so many universities have access to these databases. But in the UK or in the other universities, so you could download, read, use anything you want. Also, for example, some newsletters like Financial Times or Guardian, like you get your university access for all that. Career Center, that's also very important. Just you can introduce yourself, you can just present your CV, ask for advice and so on. Like Career Center is there to help you as well and use the most of it. Subscribe to newsletters from the university, reach out to other students. Remember that you are not only Erasmus student, but you're also an international student in all these universities. And each university, they organize something for international students. So attend these events, connect with other students, so you will not be only in the bubble of your group mates. Also, it will help you to upgrade your LinkedIn profile. For example, our Career Center gave us a special lecture how to do your LinkedIn account nice and so on, and other tools. Like really read that very carefully. For example, University of Glasgow was very generous. They provided us with access to all licensed software. For example, we used Microsoft Office or Zoom Premium for all our studies. It was super nice. The second thing is don't put your life on hold. For example, now you are in a very strange and interesting positions. For example, you can miss something from the past, from your previous experience, and you should be always future-oriented. For example, you should always plan next step ahead. And it's quite difficult and emotionally challenging, but be in present as well. Be in present as much as possible. Connect with your group mates. Also take your fun trips, adventures, whatever you can. And don't miss out of fun for the sake of studies. Okay, studies is important, but fun is really bonding experience. Also, life goes on, and there might be very disruptive things also during the program. For example, I've learned about the events in Kazakhstan when I was studying. So it was in January 2022, and it was really hard for me. So I reached out to my support group, and these people helped me to go on. So remember, you are not alone, and also let yourself to feel all these complex emotions, and don't miss out of opportunities that are for you there. So how it was for me, for example, I was improvising most of the time. I was super curious about things happening. For example, during the years of my studies, there was a conference of parties, this very famous conference about climate change, which was in Glasgow. I was interested in these topics, and I applied as a country coordinator for Kazakhstan for the young version of this conference. So I was a country representative and delegate at the Conference of Youth in Glasgow, and it was really nice. Also, our study programs, they produced their own think tank. So we got the opportunity to publish some of our opinion pieces or some of our essays. Also, I tried to work strategically. For example, I tried not to approach student assignments just as student assignments to submit and forget about it and get my grade. But I tried to think, how can I further use this? For example, we had a group work in Czech Republic about the RLC, because I also thought that it would be interesting to study this topic with international students. And then we found a conference which was matching with the topic. And then we traveled from Czech Republic to Switzerland and presented our paper. And it was a super nice experience. Also, if your program is offering summer schools or any certification courses, please take this opportunity. It's precious. It's really precious because, for example, we could use this opportunity several times for each year. And we also, during our fellowship, we could apply for any other certification course within this institution. Also, to decompress from study time, I started volunteering in community gardens. I discovered the concept of community gardens, and I was involved in a lot of gardening and some garden parties. So it was really fun, and it was really adding something interesting to my Erasmus experience. So, and speaking now and reflecting on my Erasmus experience, I see that it opened really a lot of doors for me. For example, I conducted a workshop for environmental peace builders, which was supported by the German government here in Kazakhstan. I co-authored one publication for the UNESCO, which is published, it's available in the UNESCO library. I got an internship at the German parliament and gathered this unique opportunity. And I enrolled into the funded PhD program at the Geneva Water Hub. So thanks to Erasmus experience, I understood that I would like to further work in the European or English-speaking academia. So that's it. Thank you for your attention and best of luck. So hopefully that was interesting for you. And with that, I finished my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Nadira. Of course, that was very useful, and there were a lot of useful recommendations. And I think these two presentations gave an exposure to the program from different perspectives. So that was very helpful. Thanks, Nadira. And I would appreciate if you also can stay a bit longer for the Q&A session. So now, dear participants, we're right on time. Now it's the time for our students to put their questions. Dear students, please feel free to put your questions in the chat box or through the raise hand function. Take advantage of our alumni sitting here and also representatives of the embassies of the EU member states who can help you, who can answer your questions. So please, if anyone has any question, please write down in the chat box or raise your hand and speak out loud your question. Dana Nurgazinova has a question. Dana?
Firstly, hello everyone. I would like to say thank you for all our alumni and especially for representatives of embassies and for you especially, Ms. Paluanova, for this great session, for providing so many tips and feedbacks and some essential things for our future studies. So I have a concern about the visa registration and visa issues for Kazakhstani students. For instance, I'm doing my master's degree in Central and East European Studies. I'm serious studies, and I'm firstly flying to Estonia and having my first semester in Estonia. But the second semester will start in the UK. So again, as Kazakhstani students, we have to apply for both visas, for Schengen visa and for the UK visa. And to be honest, I'm concerned about applying for the UK visa in Estonia. Are we allowed to apply for the UK visa while being in the European country? Or we have to fly back to Kazakhstan and apply here for this kind of visa? And secondly, again, related to the first question, I have a concern about the tuberculosis test, the X-ray test needed for the UK visa. So since it is stated on the website, I'm sorry for being too detailed here, but I guess maybe it's an issue for many students here. So since we would be living in Kazakhstan for past 6 months, so we have to get an X-ray test for applying for the UK visa. So in this case, do we again have to fly back to Kazakhstan, for instance, to get this X-ray test, or there might be some other solutions for this kind of issue? Again, sorry for maybe too deep question, but I guess maybe it's a question for, maybe it's a concern for all our other students. Thank you.
Thanks, Dana. No worries. That's the right time to put your questions. So these were 2 questions. Can we address this question to the representative of the Embassy of Estonia, if we have here? So whether a student can apply to the UK visa being in Estonia? That was the first question.
Yes, hello. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Can you hear me? Okay, good. I'm Dmitry. I'm sorry I do not have my video today. I'm really from the Estonian Embassy in Astana. And if you allow me, I would suggest that you contact the UK Embassy in Tallinn, because we deal with Schengen visas only. And unfortunately, we do not have this information. And if they do not answer you, well, then please contact us. We will try to contact them ourselves, okay? This would be the best solution.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks. I think Nadira has also some additions. Thank you, Mr. Naronik.
Yes, so I'd like to share my experience because I also applied for the UK visa being outside of Kazakhstan. So I was at that moment in Germany, in Berlin, and I had the same concern, but in the UK, they're outsourcing the visa service to TOC Center, which is a commercial provider of visas. So you can contact them already, I think, from here to know if you need to pass this tuberculosis test. But in my case, they just kept this necessity because I was living like around 4 or 5 months at this point in Berlin. So I guess if your appointment is slightly later, this rule about tuberculosis test will not apply to you. So ask that in advance, but by TOC center in Tallinn.
Thanks, Nadira. Dana, so you have answers to both of the questions, right?
Yeah, thank you very much. Now I feel more calmed.
Thanks. Thank you. Any other questions, dear participants? Don't be shy, raise your hands. We have one question from Dana and Nadira.
Hello everyone. I'm sorry I cannot open my camera right now, but yes, first of all, thank you everyone for sharing this information. And honestly, it feels so great to become a part of something so important and so essential in the world. But yeah, my questions are also related to visa. Generally, they've been already answered so far, but it's more of a sharing experience, and maybe if there is a representative from Portugal, because my first country, my home university is University of Glasgow in UK, but my first university is ISTE in Portugal, in Lisbon, and there are actually so many students that Erasmus students that go to Portugal, to Lisbon and Porto, to be more precise, for their first semester. And all of us, we were we could not make our visa, apply for our visa from Kazakhstan, so we all went to Moscow to apply for our visas, which was pretty I would say it was costly. We had to go there, we had to apply there, stay there for some time, and then we because it usually takes around a month to get your visa, so we had to go back again, and again it's about prices for tickets and living. So yes, I'm not really sure if it's kind of a question, but yeah, if in the future there is a possibility for students from Kazakhstan, because as I see, there are so many Erasmus students from Kazakhstan this year, as was the record, as it was mentioned before, and there are also many students that go precisely to Portugal for their first semester. So maybe there is a chance that Kazakhstani students can apply from Kazakhstan, as yes, and because we do have Portugal embassy in Astana, but they do not unfortunately have this visa appointments. Yes, and then generally the question is this, and also as my second country is France, and I also have to apply from Portugal to France, if it's possible to apply, but I guess it's not something that can be answered right now.
Thanks, Dana, for raising the issue with your visa to Portugal. Yes, we have 6 students starting their programs in Portugal this year. So can we address this question to the Embassy of Portugal, if we have a representative of this embassy here? No, unfortunately, we don't have the representative of the Embassy of Portugal, but we are aware of this issue, and Ahmar Al-Manatbek has already been liaising with the Embassy of Portugal here, so they are aware of your problems with the visa, and we will convey your comments regarding the establishing the visa center for Kazakhstani students here at the Embassy of Portugal in Astana. So thanks for the comment, Anna.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, that would be great, especially in the recent situation. It's especially hard to travel to Moscow. And firstly, so far, also another one question for the Erasmus for I guess Nadira and also Ulzhan, because they both studied in the University of Glasgow in UK. About you both mentioned Revolut, but I heard a lot about Wise. Have you been using or heard of it, and do you recommend it?
So I had both of them. I still have both of them, and I would advise to use Revolut more because it's more convenient. Also, the difference is not significant, but Wise would charge you for every conversion. Like they take some conversion fee, and Revolut doesn't have that. But Revolut is also creative with their fees. For example, they charge for weekend currency exchange. So I would advise Revolut is nice, but also like it's nice to have 2 options For example, I opted for Wise because I wanted to keep one account for savings and for some emergency situations. So it was reasonable for me to have both of them. So if you can have Revolut and something else, I would suggest that. There is also Monzo, but I'm not really familiar with it.
I see. Thank you. Thank you so much. That's it. Thank you.
You're welcome. And also,
Ulzhan, you wanted to add something, right?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that for Belgium, it's the same. If the students are applying for visa from Kazakhstan, we cannot apply because Kazakhstan embassy, like Belgian embassy in Kazakhstan, does not have authority to issue visas. So you can only get their medical certificate, because I applied also for National Visa D for my work, but it's the same visa as for students. So we have the same concern here, because I had to apply from go to Moscow, but there was an option applying by post. So I send my all documents and they send me back, but it takes time. And also there is a one problem that maybe passport can be lost on the way, logistic problems and etc. And also, like about the second question, I haven't used TransferWise, but yeah, my group mates had, some of them had both. Yeah, but yeah, you can just check. I think maybe Revolut is more reliable, but if you want to have just in case 2 accounts, use TransferWise also. Yeah.
Thank you, Ulzhan, for your comment. Ulzhan, Nadira, we have a question for you in the chat box, so let me read it out for you. A question from Rosa Omarova. As we know, the Erasmus scholarship covers the insurance for the students. Did you have to buy a local insurance when submitting the documents for a visa application? When I was applying for my Polish visa, the General Consulate of the Republic of Poland did not accept the AON insurance that was provided by Erasmus. So now I have 2 insurance policies. Does that mean that I'll have to pay for my own insurance policy every time I change the country when I apply for the visa? I don't think that expense is covered by the scholarship.
So the thing is that we had almost a similar situation with applying for the Czech visa, but we communicated with the embassy and we told them that they said that official translation of our insurance policy to Czech language was sufficient. But I guess it can differ from time to time. What I would advise is not to buy anything before you communicated this with your program coordinator, because then they'll find some connections, or they'll talk, like discuss the situation with the embassy maybe, or they would suggest some group solution. And also in our situation, we had a lot of, extraordinary situations because we were doing this in times of COVID, and university reimbursed us almost everything, even like the cost for the COVID tests, which we needed for the show. So each program, they have some leeway money for this kind of situations. So if you try to justify your costs, it might be reimbursed. It's worth a try. I cannot say it worth 100%, but you don't have to pay every time. Or sometimes it's some kind of this kind of administrative costs, they can be reimbursed by the program.
So Rosa, you need to check with your program coordinator, right? Okay, thank you. Mr. Vantieghem has a comment, I guess, who is raising his hand.
Yes, indeed. Well, it's just related to this remark about the visa problem for Belgium. It's actually not a problem because indeed we have this process by mail. So actually there is, of course, a problem of logistics if you lose the passport, but up to now, we never had any complaint about a lost passport. So it works quite easily. But on the second hand, I would like to say that I'm trying very hard and the situation has changed, especially since last year. And the international context, the new international context that has existed between Russia and Ukraine, that we would like to issue visa here at the Belgian embassy. And I'm trying very hard to get this competence here in Astana. I hope that next year in 2024, we will get this opportunity. So it's a bit too late for the Erasmus Mundus for this year, but probably next year we might have an easier solution from here. Another thing is that at the beginning of the Schengen agreements, we were with the Schengen partners willing to have a central visa office for all member states participating to the Schengen program. But some of the member states told us and told to the other partners that they wanted to keep this sovereignty inside their country. So that's why we do not have up to date a full-fledged European Union visa office. But I think that in the future, it will be also some project, maybe within 5 or 6 or 10 years, you will have no more every embassy is issuing visas for Schengen and for its own country, but EU office for all member states, which would be indeed a great step forward. But this is wishful thinking for the future. But don't lose hope. It's coming. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Vantieghem. That's very good news, and that's good to know for us. Okay.
Voilà. Sobol.
Thanks for joining the session. Thanks for your contribution. Dear participants, as for the visa to Portugal, there is a comment from the Embassy of Portugal in the chat box. It's from Maria Kisilyova. The Embassy of Portugal is listening attentively to you. So we wish you all the best, and please send your requests by email. So you see that email, please, if you have any troubles, send your questions to that email address. Their sound is not working, and Ms. Ambassador cannot greet all of you. So they have some technical problems. Other than that, they're here attending the meeting today. Okay, more hands. Question from Maxim.
Yes, first of all, I want to appreciate all the embassy's representatives here and the alumni students for the handy and useful information. And if I may, I have a question for the Spanish embassy representative, Mrs. González. So is it really compulsory to get an apostille on my diploma? Because I'm going to study in Barcelona next year, and I heard that it is necessary and that they do not accept the diploma without this validation, without this recognition. So could you please answer on this?
Thanks, Maxim. Ms. Beatriz Muñoz González, are you still here with us? Seems like she's not here, or okay, she's not here. Maxim, so we'll get back to you with the question, and we'll pass on this question to Her Excellency Deputy Head of Mission of the Spanish Embassy, maybe through Amaral.
Let me interfere here. Thank you, Laura. I see Beatriz here present, but maybe she's busy with something. Maxim, could you please clarify this registration? The question was whether Kazakhstan requires that or whether Spain requires, because if you go to study to Spain within your program, you will not have your diploma yet, right? And if you are enrolled already into the program, it means that university in Barcelona recognizes you and you are already an enrolled student.
Yeah, I mean, I have a bachelor degree, so I have a bachelor diploma, and I have like official translation of it. But I heard that Spain, in particular, they request this validation, the apostille. We need to put an apostille on our diploma. So I want to know, is it really necessary or not?
I would suggest you to contact your program manager, because each Erasmus Plus, these joint master degree programs, they are uniquely designed, and the best person to answer this question would be the representative of the Spanish university, which is the member of this program you applied for.
Okay.
You enrolled to.
Okay, I see. Thank you.
Thank you, Amaral.
Additional suggestion to that, one of our universities, one of the embassy of the country in which we were going to study also required the apostillized criminal records from Kazakhstan. So it was really a complicated procedure of getting it from Kazakhstan without being in Kazakhstan and then get it signed and translated. So I would advise to first clarify it with the coordinator, to double check it with the embassy. Second thing is, if it's necessary, it is necessary, because some of my colleagues didn't do that, and it just added the waiting time for their visas, and they traveled later because of that, because it was really compulsory for them. Also, while you are in Kazakhstan, think about making a power of attorney, so доверенность, for one of your relatives, so they can contact SON or other institutions on your behalf. Like, it really would save me some money. So think about that. Also, maybe you can make one set of biometric photos, because they're quite expensive in Europe. Yeah, so think about that. And these formal requirements for visas, they are quite strict. But first, check with the program. Second, if it's compulsory and if it's listed, take your certain time.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Nadira. Now we have 2 more raised hands. Ulzhan, do you want to add something to this question?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just one thing, in Greece, we are also, like, not for the visa, but for the degree recognition, there was a process for the degree recognition specifically in Greece. So we had to also apostolize some, even birth certificate, this kind of things. But there was from other, like from previous year students, they send us the Greek lawyers, which are translating the documents from Kazakh version to Greek. And yes, and then it could be apostolized in the embassy of Kazakhstan in Greece. So just ask your coordinator, maybe they can help. Also, they can contact you, like with previous students, what did they do? And the second is also, now there is an option for in e-government system of Kazakhstan, you can use an e-notary service that you can do power of attorney for the signing the documents online using application of eGov. Yeah. Just a suggestion in case if you forget or something.
Thank you very much.
Very good to know. Thanks, Ulzhan. We have some more questions in our chat box. Shola, I can't decide if I do travel insurance for 30 days. Is that enough, or should I do it longer? Until program will make me insurance. My first loss country is Turkey. So what should I do? Travel insurance for 30 days or longer? Joanna, Nadira, do you have anything to add here? So she's asking whether she needs to get the travel insurance for 30 days before the program gives her the insurance.
I mean, the question of insurance is highly personal, so it's how you feel is safer for you. If it's a formal requirement, do the cheapest version. If you want to use it for your safety and so on, maybe it makes sense to invest in a longer time, but in the meantime, push your program so they will issue it faster.
Thanks, Nadira. A comment from Nadira, I forgot to mention in my presentation, your parcels and your luggage are covered by your student insurance, which is quite handy. In case of any irregularities, lost luggage or postage, don't hesitate to contact the insurance company. Okay, thanks, Nadira. That's good to know. A question from Aysulu, visa process. My first year is going to be in Italy and the second in France. Is it possible to apply for the French visa from Italy, as in the summer between first and second year? I'm thinking of staying in Europe. Possible?
Okay, yeah. I had experience with Italian visa. What we did in advance, because we also wanted to stay in Europe for summer, we asked our study program to issue us an official letter which indicates the duration of the semester. Not the standard duration, but until September. For example, we're saying that we start studying in Italy from January to September, and they gave it to us, and our visa was valid from January until September. So this is the first thing to do, what you can do about it. So your summer will be also covered by Italian visa. Another thing is that Italian residence permit was also valid for 1 year in our case, which would also give us some time. But the problem was that the semester after Italy was in Czech Republic, and it was starting in, it was ending in January or something, so we still had to apply for the next visa. ask your program to issue you the longest period possible in Italy, and it would like cover your summer for sure.
Thank you, Nadira. Alia, we'll come to your question. Let me read these two questions and then we'll get back to you. Question from Dana Dastan. We got Italian D-type visa for this year, but what are our next actions? Our next country is Spain. Should we apply for Spanish visa, or our residence permit that we'll get from Italy is enough to study in Spain?
I guess it is again the same moment. It would be quite enough. It would be long enough, but you still have to apply for your next visa. I guess it would be like Spanish visa. You'll have like enough time window to stay in Italy or somewhere else, but you still need to apply for the next visa.
All right. Thanks, Nadira. Ulzhan?
Yeah, it's the same comment that if even you are changing your country and you have for residence permit or visa for a long time, you should apply for new visa for new country mostly. Yeah.
Thank you, Ulzhan. A question from Lera PM. I'm traveling with my husband. For now, he has travel visa for 60 days. But is there any possibilities to get some letter or documents from Erasmus Mundus, which will help him to get visa as family dependent? I've already asked about it at the University Lisbon, Portugal, but they said they cannot help. Could you please advise who can I contact regarding the question? Probably program coordinator or Nadira, what would you advise?
Yeah, my advice would be to contact your program coordinator, who is responsible for the whole program. So all personal aspects, they're regulating that, they're issuing all these official Erasmus Mundus letters.
Thank you. Adia or Asai, you're raising your hand.
Yes, thank you. First of all, I want to thank all representatives for the great speech. And my question, luckily I got my visa already. So the first country is Belgium, where I'm like heading to. But I have a question about, is it necessary to legalize my documents such as birth certificates or other necessary documents in these countries? Because all of my group mates, they suggested me, and I just wanted to know if it's important for our country also.
So you're starting in Belgium. Ulzhan wants to answer your question.
Yeah, the host universities.
Yeah, but it depends on your next countries, because each country has different rules for. Because I know for France, for the insurance, my friend they supposed to do something with they supposed to translate birth certificate from Kazakh to French. So it depends on your next country. What's your next country? Because for Belgium, I don't think we needed birth certificate for sure. We didn't there is no requirement for that. Yeah.
Yeah, my next country is Poland, then France, then Netherlands. I'm going to, I'm heading to these countries.
Yeah, most probably you will need, but you better ask your coordinator, program coordinator, because maybe it's different for your program. Maybe they made something easier for their program. So, yeah, ask.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
Ahmaral, you want to add something?
Yes, thank you. I have a comment regarding Lera Kim's question on the dependent visa. I would recommend you to contact the Portuguese embassy. We have here the email in the chat box, because the visa related issues are best to address to the embassy. And as far as I know, I'm not sure about the Schengen visa, but I know my friends who studied in the UK with me, when they applied for their visa with their spouses, they applied usually together. One was the main applicant and the other was the dependent. And of course, with the marriage certificate translated and so on. So I think not the program coordinator, but the embassy would be the best place to contact and to ask for the clarifications. I hope this is helpful.
Thanks, Akmaral. Vera, I hope you've seen their email address in the chat box, so you can write it down for yourself. A comment from Dmitry Mironov. If any more questions concerning Estonia occur, please contact the embassy, and please, dear students, write down the email address of the Estonian embassy as well. Okay, do we have any other questions, dear participants, dear students, any other comments, maybe from the representatives of the embassies? No questions? No
Sorry,
comments?
I had a question. I left it in the question and answer box, but
Sorry,
I can
missed it.
read it.
Yeah, please.
So my first question, so Ulzhan already answered it, thank you. My second question is about the WhatsApp or Telegram group chat for Erasmus students from Kazakhstan. Does such exist, or maybe you can create one so that we can stay in touch and communicate while traveling from one country to another?
Maybe it's worthwhile to create one for this group for this year's intake. Well, it's up to you, up to these students, but I think, yeah, it's a good channel for communication, for exchanging some challenges and solutions. Maybe you can initiate and add the students.
The problem is that I think not every Erasmus student is present on this meeting. So maybe you, as the representatives of the Erasmus members, could do that, if that's possible. But if not, I understand that.
Well, I can do that, but before I will ask then all students if they're willing to join this group, because we have this issue with personal data protection, so we have to follow that. So let me first ask students, circulate a questionnaire among students, and we have, if we have majority of students willing to join the group, then I'll then pass on to you, Artyom, right? I'll have your contact details, so we'll be in touch then on this issue. But that's a good suggestion, Artyom. Thank you. Okay, I think one more last question from Aysulu. Is it possible to get some pieces of advice on semester 4, especially on existing opportunities and working with non-partner institutions? I think Nadira's presentation has covered something on that, on your, on the 4th semester. Right, so Ulzhan, Nadira, do you have any suggestions?
So usually the program, some official representatives of the program will communicate with you already in these introductory sessions about these future opportunities or how to best plan your studies. We were lucky, we had a special person who was dealing only with internships, so we could contact him anytime, and he had the portfolio of our institutional partners to whom we had these short cards for applications. But we are also flexible in reaching out non-partner institutions. But I am sure in your program has already some partner institutions, and it would be easier to contact them. So contact with your program. If there is nothing like that, initiate that. Reach out to people, say that you want to do your internship in this semester with this university, and they will just accept it, or they will give you a support letter saying that it is an official requirement to do the internship, and then you can start it without any issues.
Thank you, Nadira. I think that was very comprehensive answer to your question, Aysulu. And Dana has one more question.
Yeah, I have a quick question. Just to make sure. So I got my Estonian D visa for the period till the January, the 30th December to be precise. And just in case, is it possible or is it feasible to prolong my visa somehow in case of any emergencies, for instance? Maybe someone could answer this question who had an experience of prolonging such kind of documents.
Our counsel is unfortunately away for now, so I cannot ask her, but if you send an email, we will definitely answer you, okay?
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Okay, any other questions, comments? dear participants.
Just one more thing.
Mhm.
Yeah, there are Kazakh communities in all the European countries. If you want to ask some questions related to accommodation, also sometimes they're helpful. So, like in Telegram and WhatsApp, for sure there are communities you can ask questions from them also while you are living there. And also related to internship. Yes, you can find also internship with non-partner institutions, but you should ask your university that, like, for example, in where are you studying in 4th semester, and then if it's related to your thesis topic or not, because in Greece it was allowed to search for internship, and it should be related to, and also they should send a letter to university and sign the contract between universities, or for example research center also possible.
Thank you, Ulzhan, very elaborative. And I am.
First of all, I want to say thank you, all of you, for this essential information for us. And to be honest, I would like to ask about study. I'm going to study in Ireland next year, and next time, well, I have the whole year in Ireland, and then I have to go to Belgium again to have my thesis work there. Should I apply a visa again to go there, or it's not necessary? Because my visa is only for 1 year.
Maybe you can apply for residence permit. You should ask your program coordinator, because mostly residence permit is valid for more than 1 year. Maybe like during your studies you can apply for that, and then like you contact your coordinator in advance, because then he can communicate. They can communicate like what they can do, because applying for visa for the same country 2 times, yeah, it doesn't worth it. So I think there should be an option for residence permit. Maybe they.
Thank you so much. Thanks.
Maybe it's also worthwhile checking with the embassy, right?
Okay, thank you.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. A comment from Gusizm. Are there any groups like Kazakhs in France? Could someone share links if there are any? Please share links in the chat box. Okay. Dear participants, now I think we don't have any other questions or comments. Dear alumni, do you have anything to add? Ahmaral, representatives of the embassies, if you want to add anything else, please feel free to. If not, I think we can conclude our today's session, which was very, I hope it was useful and helpful for our students. Comment from Ahmaral suggests to search for such communities in Facebook. Yeah, Facebook is a good source for such things. So to sum up, I'd like to extend my gratitude to all of the participants, in particular to His Excellency Mr. Kestutis Jankauskas, the European Union Ambassador to Kazakhstan, and Ahmaral Manatbek, in particular the project officer from the cooperation section of the EU delegation, and also many thanks to the representatives of the embassies of the EU member states. We had Belgium, Spain, Finland, Estonia, and I think Portugal as well. So I'm sorry if I'm missing someone else. So thank you so much for your contribution, for your input to the session. And huge thanks goes to our alumni, Nadira and Ulzhan, for being so helpful today. You are a great source of information, so thank you for that as well. Thank you for your time that you contributed to this session today. And dear students, thank you for joining the session. Please feel free to email us should you need any further support or information from the National Erasmus Plus office. And I'd also like to thank my colleague Nadira, who is dealing with all this technical part of this event. Thanks, Nadira, for putting all your efforts into this session. So on that note, on behalf of the National Erasmus Plus office in Kazakhstan, dear participants, thank you all again, and we close our session on that note. Thank you and stay healthy. Good luck with your program, dear students. Bye-bye.
Dear Laura, thank you a lot.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Good luck
Good
to
luck
all
to everyone.
enjoy your stay in Europe and your studies. Bye.
Bye bye, everyone.
Thank you very much. Goodbye.
Goodbye.